number.
One.
Devin's rolling, so
3.
2.
Devin, if you pick one, we're mad.
No, you're 4.
What? I said 3 before.
Parker's got his hand. He had his hand up the whole time.
I said 3 before.
The proof is in the pudding,
He gets to fight it out.
and my hand is the pudding.
Fight.
What did you guys
Okay,
say?
so he's 1.
1.
1,
2,
2,
3.
3, 4. Okay.
Ow! 1.
Okay.
Mexico boy.
You're Mexican. Whose is it? Is it yours?
No, it's Devin's.
Devin, sorry. Your desk is over there. How did your stuff get over here? Anyway.
Hey, I already showed this.
Mexico. The whole family went. Look at this great family. About to go cave diving / exploring. Pretty fun. Here's some cave pictures. There's a picture of a cave. There's a picture of water in a cave. On about the 4th day, when we were there, we went cave exploring in one of the biggest caves in the world, actually. Because there was this little, it's like a river under there, kind of, and they saw this little hole, and that hole was like a huge underwater cave, and they like explored it, and it was like really big, I guess, so. Anywho, here's more pictures. You know, just walking in a cave is pretty much walking in a cave. One thing that was really cool, they took you in this really like dark place, like around the corner where there's no light, and they turned all the lights off, and it was like really dark. Like you could put your hand like right here, and you couldn't even see your hand because it was so dark.
Triple tap.
Triple tap.
There's videos if you want to play them, but this is a cenote. It's like Cancun has like a series of underground rivers or something, and basically they're all like connected somehow, but some of them like have pockets of air. I don't know why they formed like that, but then they're like open, and so basically we got to jump in them because why not?
These are both videos?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Oh, it's loud.
1, 2, 3, go! Good job, buddy.
Good job,
Dad.
buddy.
Good job, buddy. Didn't say for me.
Okay? Ready?
He was trying to walk down. Jackson was trying to walk down.
He
They said, no, you will jump.
Amigos, no nadie de esta área, ¿ok? Porque esta es la área de
What is he saying?
He said, no swimming in this area.
Ready? You want to say something to the paparazzi? Uno, dos, tres, go!
Head on a rock.
Looks
like
Zoom.
So basically, that was like a 21-foot drop. It's not that high, but still, it's jumping.
Was it fun?
What?
Was that fun?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Mexico is very windy for some reason. Can't really tell in this picture, but these are just 2 pictures that my mom took. It was really windy. The first like 3 days is really windy. The first day it rained. Second day it rained. Third and fourth day it rained. So basically, it rained. the airport experience. The experience in the airport was very mid, okay? The 2 flights there were good. The 2 flights to Mexico were good since I got to watch movies. The ones back, however, were mid because we had to wake up at 4 a.m. Mexico time, which is 3 a.m. CST. We also had to wait in a line for 2.5 hours in customs. No bueno. And we almost missed our flight, but since we were the last ones on the plane, we got first class. And that's Jackson. So, sun rises, not sunsets, I guess. That's just sunrises, I guess.
The sun in Mexico is
I don't know what that green thing is.
Is that a
It's a
parrot?
boat.
It's a dolphin.
Anyway.
Random pictures. 2 pictures of trees, the same tree.
Awesome.
Same tree.
And then mom in the cave.
Okay.
Mom in the cave.
What? So the picture is supposed to be on the family, not in the background.
Uh-huh.
As you can see, my dad poking right there. That's not okay. That's not supposed to be. But you know what?
Good job, Luke.
I don't know what the freak. Anywho.
Oh.
Jackson,
What was your
vote in.
lesson on?
3.
1, 2, 3.
2.
1.
Dude! Hey, it's the thing you did.
I'm
gonna make a
re-roll.
You did it.
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
That's the random of it.
Yeah, another one. Oh.
Get out of the way.
Zabin's in the
You
way.
get
We
it,
gotta
you
go
get it
down.
how Devin rolls it.
That's the rules. Devin rolls it. Yep.
Devin is the rules.
Maybe we should like relocate these.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
It was supposed to be me, my brother, and my mom from the top. But apparently there's this random lady in the background.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And Dad decided to take the picture at the the not perfect time.
I feel like
And
definitely.
just zoom it up a little bit.
So you didn't crop that picture in.
No, I actually have the picture.
That was all your dad.
Yep. Well, the full picture actually has us in it.
Did you tell your father to make an advertisement for Mexico?
Let them present.
Whoa. Was that supposed to be
Dad
bad?
just,
Is this an ad that you were making?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
No, what?
Oh,
Oh,
whoa. Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Part 2. I don't know. I forgot
What?
to change the 1 to a 2. My
Buddy.
bad. Fired.
Change 1 to a 2.
Okay, man, Jackson.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Our smart goal is to finish our 6-foot Ferris wheel before the end of this week. We were supposed to accomplish this by using, the things to build the 6-foot Ferris wheel, and it did not happen. But that's fine. We tried.
It's a valiant effort.
Yeah.
But
No.
What?
What?
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Let's click the arrow.
What?
What?
Okay. So we can't touch it.
Oh.
So our technology is something that is used to resemble a real-life Ferris wheel. It is something that's being built all around the world, and our technology is Kinect, which is a simple kids building system, but the building processes resemble real-life structures. Okay.
What?
Now you gotta click it again.
Well, you try cooking. See if it.
What?
All right, I guess I'm clicking.
Alright.
Um,
Is there words there? Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, relating our launcher to the real world. The Ferris wheel that we are building uses some of the same structural designs as a real Ferris wheel. The real world. Spoke cables hold the spokes in line. And there are a lot of intricate pieces involved in the building of this Ferris wheel. The spoke cables are not involved. And then that's ours, and then that's the real life one.
Any of them?
God dang it.
It's fine.
What the?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's over.
So we learned that building very large objects, also known as a 6-foot Ferris wheel, which is also not 6 foot, it's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of hard work and determination to finish, but we will use communication skills to collaborate as a team. Well, that didn't work.
So when we were doing it, the motor, it just kept going past it and wouldn't really get a grip on it.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't
it'd go like normal speed and then just slow down and slowly stop,
And then it would,
and then it would go again. It was so weird.
yeah. But
But
we fixed it. We'll show you how like.
Don't do it.
No touching.
Don't do it. What? What'd you do?
You broke it.
It's broken.
Oh,
You broke it.
no.
So on day one, we added the spokes and the first rim.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch it. Hang on. What's going on?
You stop. Forget.
What's the highest value of that?
Whoa. Oh, do you not have?
Yep, we're good.
Do you not have a D?
It's not touching,
not
it's
the
only,
120.
it's not even close to touching it.
We're
spinning.
Day
There's
two,
a big gap there.
we began to work on the second rim,
Okay.
which was very time consuming to build because you had to put like 4 different parts together. And then, yeah.
One year out.
What more are you talking about? There was a gap there.
Here again.
Oh, yeah. So these were like really annoying to build because we had
Yeah.
to put these little arrow thingies on there and like it looks cool but it's annoying.
Yeah. You have to do a lot of them.
Yeah, there was like 96 of them. I'm not gonna touch it. So on day 3, we almost finished the second rim. Yeah, these really suck to build.
Yeah. Took us like a couple days.
Yeah. So, on day 4, Logan and I were worried that the motor wouldn't be able to push the Ferris wheel because it seemed to be slipping. We realized that the support frame was bowed outwards, and then the motor wasn't touching the wheel as good as it should, and it was slipping. That's the motor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
vocabulary.
Conclusion. Our challenge was to build the 6-foot Ferris wheel. We wanted to have it done, of course, by the end of this week, but we ended up failing that. We both enjoyed building this, you know. Might take you a while, but in the end, it's probably worth it, in my opinion. But we just gotta finish these seats up, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully before the end of the 3rd week.
Yeah. We only got like 96 more to go.
Yeah. There's only 24.
Oh.
Are you gonna show it to
Yeah.
the iPad?
Yeah. Morgan Duck.
Let's take the whole iPad.
I'm just gonna free cam it.
Show them motor.
We gotta get Logan next to him.
Alright. Quick follow.
or two?
Two.
Because he was number one.
Just flip it up, let it fall on the floor.
Bang.
Two.
Okay.
Good.
VR stand and dog tags. My name is Morgan, and
I'm Brooklyn.
our technology is Tinkercad, and we were using Lesson 1 Tinkercad drawing 3D objects with Tinkercad. I'm not going to touch it because of last time. That's actually
Whoa.
Whoa.
No fair, yours works.
okay. Smart goal. We want to try creating something out of filament. We will use Tinkercad to create, this is part of my goal. I will use Tinkercad to create a MetaQuest 2 holder. I will know when I meet my goal when I have half the holder done. I have all the needed resources like Tinkercad and my knowledge of making objects. I wanted a VR holder for a while, but I don't have the money right now, so this is an alternative. Day one, get the base and maybe some of the columns done so it can hold both the controllers and headset. Day 2 and 3, get the top of the holder done, and day 4, get it printed.
Both of our objects are everyday things that you can buy or see around the world. 3D printing has made it much easier to make these objects and get these objects instead of buying them or getting them made. Dog tags are just easier, cheaper, and a simpler way to get custom-made dog tags. The headset stand can be custom made to fit for any sort of VR headset for a cheaper price.
Whoa.
This is the actual holder that someone else 3D printed, and this is my first iteration. Sadly, it did not turn out. Here's that holder.
Whoa.
Very small.
Did you not take the support off?
It's too small.
No, the reason why is because I know it will not fit. It will break right away.
Too small.
You should still do the trick for any other difficulties of your partner.
Okay.
What did I learn? Thing that I learned is like you can flip shapes, you can twist them in different directions to finesse them into making unique shapes, and twirl them around. And you can make anything you want in Tinkercad. Seriously, anything. I can name off a list right here, but I don't have the time.
I learned how to 3D model and I also learned how to 3D print. I got to put a lot of time into learning about 3D modeling, and I also learned how to deal with a bunch of 3D printing problems that I had along the way.
What problems did we have? We both had the problems with something not going from Tinkercad, okay, I need to order this one, from Thingiverse to Tinkercad. Brooklyn had problems with the color changing filament, and it was hard to get off, so it didn't work. My problems. The problems I had was getting the VR stand to work, but I had to remix it, parentheses, remake it. It's a long road, but it turned out good in the end. Overall, the VR stand was hard to make because I had two different VR stands. One was too small and the one that doesn't fit the VR headset.
I believe I have a higher confidence in 3D modeling and 3D printing after doing this project. 3D printing was the more difficult of the situation. I think that 3D printing can help the world tremendously, especially since people 3D print houses, which makes the process quicker, more efficient, and less expensive.
How it's made, Morgan's edition. I first started to get to the bottom of the stand. The bottom of the stand for this one was my first iteration, and I worked my way up from there. And the top of the stand was harder because it took like a couple class periods just to get the top of the stand so it holds the weight. And in the second iteration, I had a tripod that would hold it much better. It was hard because it wouldn't fit, and I needed to make 2 different sections. The VR stand that I have now, it does not fit. I need to cut it in half, make the pillars longer, print that one, and then print the top of it.
I overall enjoyed 3D modeling and 3D printing. I had a few problems along the way, but was definitely able to learn lots. I also printed a few everyday objects that I think really helped out with me learning more about 3D printing and 3D modeling process. The main problem I had was getting something from Thingiverse into Tinkercad. I was able to figure out why it was happening and make my way through the problem. I learned a lot about both Tinkercad and Thingiverse.
Yeah, Thingiverse is amazing. You can get like blueprints and stuff from there, and you can paste them over to Tinkercad, where you can make that into an object and you can edit it. You can do anything with it. Conclusion.
Our challenge was to 3D model and 3D print an everyday object. We achieved our SMART goal because we made an everyday object that is cheaper than the regular object and easier to make. If I did Tinkercad again, I would only hope to do more with 3D modeling and try and make my own original creation. I liked the way you 3D model in Tinkercad and how simple it is compared to some of the other 3D modeling sites. We 3D modeled and 3D printed everyday objects and they turned out very well. I learned how to properly 3D model and 3D print. We were both doing our own projects, but both put work into the presentation. We both had a few difficulties, but after we got the problems figured out, everything went smoothly.
I choose one.
Oh. What am I thinking? So got one left.
One or one.
Oh,
I choose
that
one.
felt weird.
Not letting you do it because you always end up on the floor.
The other stand.
Nothing.
You must.
Oh.
It's one. Oh no. Oh, it's one.
I kind of misjudged
Wow.
the.
they captured the banner wrong.
So I didn't have to take the
grab
stilts
your
off
thing.
from holding control.
Grab your thing.
I had to make that bigger.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Another section, so it stands up this tall. That would face the controllers, and then so otherwise it looks cool on the same. Just lets you know how much work you put.
He's getting it, I swear. Okay, 3D printing, Parker, Devin. We use Tinkercad and Dremel 3D printers. Our launcher was level 2 Tinkercad prototyping. The SMART goal. Our challenge is to come up with our own invention or product idea, and we should design a draft prototype using Tinkercad and evaluate it and see if we can find ways to improve it based on what we discover.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
My smart goal is to make an air launcher that would use this air pressure to launch objects. Some of the examples of objects were
These are the little things that Devin's air cannon launched. Just little 3D printed. I don't remember no cylinders.
Yeah.
My SMART goal, I will use Tinkercad and maybe Thingiverse to create a miniature desk golf set. I didn't use Thingiverse at all because Tinkercad was easy enough to use. I got everything from there. In the 4 days, I'll be able to create my golf set and hopefully assemble it on a desk. I will also glue pieces together. Hope I can do that in these 4 days. The golf set will have 2 barriers on either side of the backstop and a hole that clips onto the desk. The club will be roughly the size of a pen, and it would have a ball return that goes under the desk and returns the ball. I obviously didn't get all that done. I only barely had time to print my little design and redo that. So I think if I did do the big one, then I probably wouldn't have time to do it.
I also noticed something when Parker was making his. When he wanted to make his 3D object, he said he wanted to make a recovery hole right here. But when he has this on the desk, there is no room for any recovery hole. So if he would really wanted to do that, he would have to have this part elevator right here and have the support right here, so he would be able to fit the recovery part right here.
Attainable, I'll be able to complete my goal because I have all the resources like Tinkercad, the 3D printer, Thingiverse for inspiration, and people in the room with 3D printing knowledge to successfully master this goal. Relevant, I'm creating this because I want to make something fun and creative, and this desk golf set is a good mix of challenge and reward. Also wanted to because I know the limit of my partner's presentation skills, and it would be a pretty easy thing for us to present on. Time-based, I will make the designs on days 1 and 2 while printing them if the printer is open. On day 3, I'll do a last check on the print designs so I can be done printing, and on day 4, I'll put the parts together so it'll be usable by the refreshing day.
Our technology is both Tinkercad and 3045 Tinkercad. Tinkercad is which is a site to create 3D models and circuits. This also has tutorials for moving, copying, printing, tilting, and resizing shapes. Also provided by a menu on the side of the training platform. Now, the Dremel 3045 is a higher quality 3D printer. We also have a 3D20, which is smaller and less precise. And also one thing I did learn about it, you can also lock shapes in place so you can, when you're trying to edit other things, you don't add extra edited things. Not it's called an editorial lock.
Relate your launcher to the real world. Our 3D printer is a small one for recreational use, and other 3D printers, like the one shown in that little factory picture, make parts for repairing cars, pacemakers, and other cool stuff. Example, that's our 3D printer. We have a 3045 back there in the corner, and real world 3D printers.
What do we learn about the 3D printer and how it works, such as the Dremel uses supports under the design and its inside foundation. I found out the hard way that supports cannot be smoothed out. I printed my desk golf design upside down the first time and saved them on the supports, but the ball one rolls completely on top, which we learned about the Tinkercad, which is that easily to make with one. But I did actually find out the problem to that. When it's making the supports, it makes an extra layer on top of it. So if you were to remove that rough layer from your print, yeah, it makes a layer below your actual print for your app, so it doesn't affect your actual print. I learned that when I was making my dragon for an earlier product. I forgot to tell Parker this. Sorry, Parker. Could have saved your other disc golf from the trash.
My problems that I had were getting the desk golf to print correctly and scaling it. I had to reprint the design because of the supports that I mentioned and on the last slide. I also had trouble because my Tinkercad design was too big for the printer, so I had to scale it on the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. I couldn't scale it on the z-axis because my desk clip then wouldn't fit. I measured the desk, made a clip under it.
Oh. The problems I had was the 3D printer was a few hundredths off when I'm printing, which when you're trying to make an airtight seal is extremely bad. So if it being a few hundredths off, it's going to be a lot rougher. You're about to do more sanding, and it's going to be a lot more annoying. I wish I knew this before I make my design. I would have adjusted my design to this problem.
This is my first failed print. Yeah, that was a problem too. How do we solve those problems? I solved my problem by just reprinting right side up. There's a lot more filament used on the supports, but the design turned out okay. I also turned off uniform scaling. The problem that Devin had, he cannot reprint or anything because of time, and he found a way to leave that part out of his build.
I use a lot of Dremel to create mine, so each part of it.
Sanded a lot of stuff. The prototyping part, I came up with my idea based off of my liking of golf and that Logan made a mini bowling alley, and I liked the idea of 3D printed mini sports.
I came up with my idea of being an air launcher because I like making things that shoot and like black things. And I also wanted to see if the 3D objects hold air pressure and what's the limit to that air pressure of the 3D object or what other variables there is. For example, if you use a lighter fill, it's not going to be able to hold as much air pressure as, let's say, a heavier fill.
That's just a picture of this. This is my actual build. It has the desk clip, fits onto a desk. I had to layer a hot glue so the ball didn't roll over and stuff. Making the models, Tinkercad was probably the smoothest part of our whole design process. Devin knew exactly what he wanted to make, and he made all of his parts for his air cannon in 3 class periods. I made the desk golf design in 2 class periods. There are a few problems with Tinkercad, but no big ones. Like I would have to hit undo, and it wouldn't redo some of the parts without me messing with stuff.
So, another part of this, like for example, when I was making this, I used an editorial block on this right here, so I could make the inner parts. The inner parts I could combine them at different times, so parts I wanted not to delete wouldn't delete, but parts I needed to delete would. Like for example, the holes for air pressure.
You knew that one.
Yeah. How does the 3D printer, after making a donut, you put on a 3D thermal slicer and a scale to 1.5. Then you put it onto the thumb drive and put it into the printer. The printer uses the filament and melting it down and place it in the printer build. The printer controls the flow rate and how fast the printer nozzle moves. The printer uses a G code for everything moving and also listen in the flow rate. Using nozzle and place the filament make the build.
That's Devin's build. I think maybe you can move it on your
you should
computer,
be able
Mr.
to.
Ponzer. You might be able to,
This?
yeah, move Devin's little build thing.
I can.
No?
I guess I forgot to that.
Could we have made our,
Where am I going?
yep,
There.
right there. Up, no, okay,
There.
yep, right there.
Up.
Up, now right there.
There! Up!
Yep, right there.
Oh,
Yep.
there!
Okay, you got it. Could we have made our builds better? By using higher quality print, it would have made the air cannon have less rough edges, which would have made a better airtight seal and
But it
let the
would use
projectile
more.
go farther when fired.
And this was just a prototype, so that's why we would use higher quality. If I was going to make the final product, it would be a little higher quality, so it would be a little less.
I believe I couldn't have made mine too much better, even though if I had a bigger printer to use, I wouldn't have had to scale it down so much. I had to scale it down from 100% to 68% for it to fit on the Dremel platform.
Then before that, I had him turn off this uniform scaling and change the Z-axis to 100% so it would actually type properly.
The vocab, G-code, geometric code used for 3D printing, filament, plastic, the 3D printer
You
melts.
don't have to read those if you don't want to.
Okay, yep, maybe.
Yeah,
Why is everybody switching the vocab and the conclusion?
Because it just makes more sense, you know?
But I don't make you read the vocab, so that's why I put it way at the end.
Well, it makes sense for the conclusion to be at the conclusion.
Okay.
Our challenge was to come up with our own invention or product idea, design a draft, and then evaluate our prototype, see if we can find ways to improve it. I believe I met my SMART goal almost exactly because I spent the first 2 days designing, printed on the 3rd day, and refined my design on the 4th day, and printed my final design again. I changed my design for the golf set as the printer was only open for me to do my printing for 1 day. I wouldn't have had time to print all the parts that I wanted to. I managed my time well, but on the due days I didn't have time to journal, so I had to do that as my design was printing. Me and my partner were split almost completely, other than him helping me with the 3D printer and the Dremel 3D slicer and stuff. Next time I would make sure that other people weren't using the 3D printers so that I can do all my design that I wanted to. We didn't collaborate very much, and we're probably only going to do the journal together, or only the presentation together as a team. We worked on our own things for the project and made our own 3D printed designs. We had our successes making the builds because we both successfully got what we wanted from the 3D printer. if we did this again, I would just refine the same idea even more and make it
Um,
better.
If I were to do it again, I would just try different ideas for the camera. I've actually already had a new idea, which am I going to start testing? I'm going to start testing that.
Yep, please.